What's going on, everyone? It's me, Marco from PhoneDog.com, and the past day or so has been crazy full of iOS 8 news. Why? Because we saw some screenshots of iOS 8, the fabled Apple iOS 8 refresh for 2014 for iOS, iPad, and hopefully something called the iWatch. So this is iOS 8 is coming. We're going to be talking about what you can expect in Apple's brand new mobile flagship software, iOS 8. So first things first, everyone talks about the looks of iOS because from departure, iOS 6 looks almost nothing like iOS 7, and iOS 7 will look very similar to iOS 8. It basically retains almost every single detail from what we've seen so far to iOS 8. Now the recent refresh, iOS 7.1, is a little bit different from iOS 7 because it has darker text. The keyboard looks a little bit different. The icons have a little bit more color, maybe deeper contrast, and basically we're going to see that carried over to iOS 8. My take would be text edit would be a new document viewer instead of Pages. It will still be available to actually, edit your text, but if you don't need a vigorous software like Pages, text edit will be available for you. Preview will be almost exactly the same. Basically, you'll be able to look at photos or JPEGs or PNG files on your iPhone instead of opening them into maybe a viewer on Safari. So that would be great for more integration, especially with now being able to attach things on emails and all of that jazz. Now, the next application is actually called Healthbook. Now, this is something we haven't seen before, and this is where we say iWatch, iWatch, and iWatch because this could very well be the iWatch application. So there's a mock-up currently that's displaying what it can look like, especially when it's connected to an iWatch. So similar to a Fitbit or the Jawbone Up, basically this thing right here, it can display things like your calorie intake, your steps, how many calories you've burned. So basically it'll be like a fitness tracker for yourself. And the way it tracks that is you basically have a wearable wristband named the iWatch. Now actually we don't have a real product yet. We'll think we'll see something at WWDC, which is only a couple months away. It's also where we'll see iOS 8 debuted. So hopefully we'll get some kind of confirmation that iWatch will be coming because of this Healthbook application. So if we do see this application, I can almost guarantee you we'll have iWatch or something similar to iWatch within this year. Now also one majorly requested feature is a refresh of Maps. Now Maps used to be terrible and now it's not so bad. Now it has like live traffic and it actually works as a decent navigation application. Now it's still not as good as Google Maps, but we can see a refresh in terms of how it calculates routes, refresh of how it looks to us on iPad, on iPhone, hopefully the iWatch. It probably shouldn't go on the iWatch actually, but basically we'll have a refresh of Maps, how it looks and how it communicates to you as well. Things I can also guarantee is a new Siri, basically more smart, very fast, accurate. I know there's a new refresh for Siri now on iOS 7.1 where basically it'll stop listening when you leave the button from pushing it down. So that would be great. Now, other features that I know will happen in iOS 8 include Touch ID expansion. Now, iOS 7 was kind of a beta for Touch ID for the iPhone, and that's really why we didn't see it on the iPad because it wasn't ready for for everyone to use it on iPads. So for iOS 8, we're hoping to see Apple open the Touch ID software and basically, that part of that processor to third-party application developers. So you'll have basically your password could be your fingerprint like on eBay or Amazon, really any mobile purchasing application that you can find on the iOS App Store. One other likely feature that we'll see is Apple's mobile payment setup. Now this is actually for you to use when you're at a store. So it could be the Apple Store, it could be Starbucks, it could be any store that wants to partake in this, and Touch ID could play a major role in the security of using that software. So instead of using your card to buy something, you could just whip out your iPhone, set up your mobile payment, buy it, and then to sign it, you would actually put your fingerprint on the Touch ID sensor on your iPhone. So that is a very good possibility, something we could likely see in iOS 8. So especially with iOS 7, everyone was expecting to see a major refresh from Apple each year, but that's just not how Apple works. We'll have this kind of evolutionary upgrade in terms of the software, but we'll also have some kind of revolutionary upgrade in terms of hardware this year with iPhone 6 or iPhone Air, whatever we want to call it. So it'll definitely be a very interesting software to tune into. And again, WWDC is only a couple months away. We're mid-March, and WWDC is the first week of June or so. Usually it is. It might be the second week this year, but again, it's not that far away. So there you have it, iOS 8 in a nutshell. That's what we're expecting at WWDC 14 this year. And also, if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button below, and also leave a comment and tell us what you would like to see from iOS 8, and also interact with all of our editors here at PhoneDog.com. You can also interact with me on Twitter at PhoneDog_Marco, and my name is Marco Hanna from PhoneDog.com, and I'll see you guys in the next video.